Well, hello, lovely listeners, and welcome, viewers. Today, I have another amazing guest. We have Richard Ashmore today. Richard, who by day installs internet, but by night, he is the beer guy. And he's been looking into law for a long time and came across a previous podcast guest of mine, Brandon J. Williams. I know a lot of people watching this know who Brandon is. And yeah, he basically, in Richard's words, makes law fun. And so you restarted your journey basically. And you have had the accolation of paying your council tax and water using the bills of exchange, and you've had it credited and you've got proof of that as well. And
Yeah.
now you're helping others to try and do something similar. You've also put on here, Guy's mortgage account disappeared after endorsing the redemption statement. So perhaps we can talk about that in a bit. But
Yeah.
welcome, Richard. Thank you very much for being here. And I can see you're in space today, which so it's amazing the signal that we've got.
I know it's so quick, isn't it? I can't believe it.
Well, I would love to know a bit of your backstory, really. When you sort of woke up, were you born like this, or were you a normie and like a lot of us woke up in 2020, or was it before that? So, thank you for being here and giving me your time, and I would love to know a little bit more about you and obviously what got you to doing what you're doing now.
Um, yeah, no worries. Yeah, so um, probably about 10 years ago, I was a bit, I don't know. As soon as I started to turn teenager, I started coming up with loads of ideas for like inventions and things that I don't know, my mind just kept flooding with ideas for inventions. And yeah, it was. I think it was just that type of brain that had just been turned on inside me that made me want to look into things all the time. Um, and then other day I went, well, yesterday I posted on my Facebook the first video that I'd ever put on YouTube, which was 8 years ago. And it was about chemtrails. It was the first video that I'd done. And now I can be like, like, yeah, they're trying to dim the sun. It's been in the news now. And now you can see that they've told you. Sort of thing. But no, it's yeah, it was working in a certain factory that made me like proper wake up. And it was flat Earth that was like one of the things as well, doing the waking up stuff. And then obviously I went to functions and flat Earth functions and met Martin Leakey and Dave Moore and all the other people that go to those types of functions.
How did working in a factory help you wake up?
Well, because it was at mind-numbingly boring. You weren't allowed you weren't allowed to have like a little earphone in to listen to music and stuff going around. Because you have to have one for listening to this computer in your ear, and then you need the other one to be able to hear if there's anyone around you. So you weren't allowed to walk around listening to music. So yeah, I just filled my brain up with with yeah, like trying to think about things.
I thought
And
you were
yeah,
going to say they were all talking about flat Earth and Christ and chemtrails in the
no,
factory, but
no.
I was a
Well,
bit
well,
surprised.
there was two lads that would, and so yeah, obviously we go on with each other.
Yeah.
And, yeah,
Oh, fair play. So you started pretty young then in terms of being awake and aware, um, which is cool because a lot of people aren't like that. So so when did you start the law journey then? When did that start?
it was all pretty much all at the same time. I'd started looking into law first, um, and then flat Earth stuff and the other awakening stuff came. It was law was probably my first one, and that's because I was doing this job and I was paying this loan off, and then I pulled me back for like a month. I couldn't go to work. Obviously, I'm not going to work. I'm not getting paid. I was living at my mum and dad's, so I was all right. I was all right. Um, but yeah, I couldn't keep paying the loan off. And then I started looking into all this stuff. We're saying that you don't really have to pay loans off. So I was like, right, okay. And then I ended up doing a video about not paying customs charges because they used to send them through post, didn't they? And then you would have to like respond to them. So I just write addressee not recognised, return to send. There you go. I'd have to pay customs charge now. Yeah, that was probably one of the first things that I did regarding like letters and stuff. But that was 8 years ago, and that was just messing about. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, no, all good fun.
So when did you what was the first thing you did in terms of settling the bill? Was it the water or was it the council?
I did them both at the same time. I thought because I got the council tax bill, so I stopped paying, and then I got the council tax bill through, and I was just like, oh, I'll just ignore that. And then I got into Brandon's work, and I was like, hold on a minute. So I could just endorse it and send it them back, and then they're not going to be knobheads. I can just trap them that way. Right, okay, then I'll do that. It says council tax bill. There's a date of bill. This is what I go through in the videos that I put on the YouTube. There's a council tax bill. It says it at the top, council tax bill, and then it says date of bill. Um, and then it says it three times on mine. It says bill three times. Um, but yeah, that's what made me realise. Oh, bill is a bill of exchange. So they're just sending bills of exchanges through the post, and all we've got to do is endorse and send them back. So I was like, right, well, I'm having you. And then the exact same time, another letter comes through from Yorkshire Water, and they were saying to the occupier, but then this one that came through, they'd found my name. So, oh, hello, I'm just about to send this off at council. What's this thing coming through my door? Checked it, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, it's got my name on for this address, so this care of address." Um, so yeah, I better do the same with them then, hadn't I? So yeah, I did them both at the same time, sent
And
them off, and then I was still learning the course. I was still learning and watching the videos, but I already knew what I was going on about because I'd learned all the stuff before. Um, so I kind of had a good idea of what needed to be done. So yeah, I was motoring through the course, um, and then oh no, it was the summons that I got for the council that came through. You know, I've been ignoring the bills, and then it says, "Oh, here's the summons." So I endorsed the summons, and I paid it to the order of the council, sent it in back, and then probably like a week later, they sent a letter through saying, "Oh, we're cancelling the summons. You haven't got to come in. We're going to send you a bill," and that was the bill that I endorsed. But yeah, the water came in between them. But yeah, that's that's how I got into it.
so what did you send back from the summons? Sorry.
So there's summons for the council tax. It's literally the it literally says that summons for non-payment of council tax at the top,
Yeah.
and then it gave me the court in Sheffield. So I was supposed to go to Sheffield for this alleged summons to court. Um, but yeah, I thought, right, well, I think I best try this, hadn't I? And then I did. Oh, sorry, I'm only using it back sitting on my phone. So, yeah, I paid it to the order of the council instead of the order to me, which is what Brandon teaches. It teaches you to pay it to yourself or your ens legis or capital's name as opposed to the corporation that's wanting it because they can still negotiate on it. But yeah, no, I put to the council. And then, yeah, a couple of days later, I got the email saying, you don't got to come for your summons. We're going to send you a bill. And that's when I switched the endorsement and paid it to the ens legis. Um, all capitals name, and that's when we started going backwards and forwards.
So that bill, is that the copy that you shared with me that I could put on the screen now?
That is not the one that I've sent them. No, no, that's not the one that I sent them. That's the one saying how much have you paid since your last bill. Um, shall I just send it in now so it'll go into the chat?
Okay. Okay, so talk us through this then.
So at the top it says council tax bill.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, there's a date of bill that I've highlighted, and
Oh yeah, data bill, yeah, on the top right corner.
that's it. And a bill of is a bill of exchange, yeah. And there's a sum certain in money, £882 and whatever it says, just a bit lower down.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, can you see that bit? I can't see it because I've got loads of things going right outside of
Eight
the
and
screen.
882.31.
That's
31.
the
Yeah.
one. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I've got full screen again. Yeah, so there's some certainty in money. It's a bill. It's from one person to another, and it's at a specific time, which is a bit further down. So yeah, it fulfills the requirements of what a bill of exchange is. So this is how I um, endorse the bill and to send it back to the council. Um, on the back of that, it has a barcode which is directly behind where that endorsement is. I say to people, endorse the back of the barcode if they've got a barcode on there. If they ain't got a barcode on there, put it near where the money value is. And we know that the money value is in a box, so it's not actually on that document. But if they want to say, oh, well, it is now, and they want to cancel it out and play games or whatever, they can. And then I attach another bit to that, and I say delivery is acceptance. Um, this bill is transferable, um, and then I put in pen. I write all alienable rights reserved without recourse, um, and then pretty much the same sort of thing as that, but without the pay to the order of.
And where do you write that?
On an attachment to it. So they call them a longe. A longe is to a note when you attach. So this is bill of exchange. So if you attach anything to it, the thing that's attached to it is known as an allonge. So I leave instructions for them to be able to still trade upon the bill. So it gives them the right to pay themselves, and it gives them the right to pay me as well because it's paid to the order of the all caps name, not me, but you know what I mean, the all caps name. So the all caps name is the only thing that can do anything in commerce. So the council tax bill is a bill, so it falls into the Bills of Exchange Act. If something's in the Bills of Exchange Act, it's got monetary values and stuff on, then um, then yeah, it fulfills the things that means it's a negotiable instrument and you can do stuff with it.
Okay.
Um,
So, so for clarity then, so this was your bill. So originally you got a summons for non-payment and then they sent you a bill. And for anybody that's listening and not watching, Richard put on the actual bill and he's written it like on a diagonal from left to right, if you like, and he's written it next to his total of £882.31 that he allegedly owes. And he's put without recourse, pay to the order of, and then he's put Richard Ashmore in capital letters. And he's done that because that's his all caps name, his legal fiction, which is represented by the birth certificate. And then he's done by his signature, Richard,
autograph,
sorry, autograph, sorry.
autograph.
Yeah, sorry, autograph. And then underneath has put Richard hyphen Samuel hyphen Dean, colon Ashmore, and then he's put agent underneath that. And you were just saying that you put a separate note on. We
Yeah,
you put this so on the back of this bill. You're saying there's some kind of QR code.
barcode, a
Yeah,
barcode on
barcode.
it.
But if you haven't got that, then just write it next to the amount.
Yeah.
And then on the separate note that you attach to this, just say again what you write on there.
Um, Delivery is acceptance because under the Bills of Exchange Act, when a bill of exchange goes through the post and enters the inside of the property, I'm not going to go too much into that, but yeah, that's delivered. So under the Bills of Exchange Act, delivery is acceptance. So once a bill of exchange has been let go off of one party and then received by another party, i.e., they get it and have to sign for it because you send it signed for through the post. They have to sign for it. So then that's your proof that they've received it, which is delivery. And under bills of exchange, delivery is acceptance. So after that, they've then got to dishonour the bill and they've got to do it correctly and they've got to leave a notice of dishonour. And if they don't do that, then that's it. Everything's discharged. It's without recourse anyway. So even if they did try and do something with it, it says without recourse. Without recourse is like a little golden egg that sits at the beginning of any endorsement. It means that whoever's endorsing it is not liable for anything to do with the document. So it's basically telling them this is payment. You've got to take payment this way. If you don't, then I'm not liable for it. And then you can't do anything with that any further. Like they can't say anything else after they put without recourse, because that's what Brandon's fans or what members and followers and subscribers have done. They've gone out to the banks in America, and then they've got the proof. We can't do it over here for whatever reason. They don't give it to us over here, but in America they are, and it completed mortgage documents, and it uses this exact verbiage. Um, exact style of endorsing, and that's when the banks pay it to the order of the banks. The
As in their
banks are like
mortgages, yeah.
stamping. Yeah, yeah, and they're stamping them all over and all. It's like they're competing, they're trying to see how many times they can get it traded before they take it to the window. Um, but yeah, no, it's the exact same over here. It's got to be because why would they be trying to hide it so much? Why would they be letting it go in America and then trying to hide it over here? Like they must now know because we've started sending these in. I can pretty much guarantee, almost with a 99% certainty chance, that I was the first person in the UK corporation area to send in this style of endorsement on a council tax bill, and I reckon they had no fucking clue what to do with it, and they didn't even know what it was. So now I've gone back and forth with them and proven that that is payment in full, and I've got that in an affidavit now, so I've got the choice if I wanted to take them to Chancery Court, but I think it's usually 6 months, isn't it? Or um, it might be, it could just be forever because obviously some crimes people come back and they get done 20 years down the line and they find new evidence or whatever. Um, but yeah, no, I can say if I want to take the CFO of the council or the CFO of Yorkshire Water to court and try and sue them, I'd probably more than likely win. Um, in an equity court, it's a different standing, so they understand bills of exchange and promissory notes, and they deal with assets and things like that.
Yeah.
So all I do is talk them through what I've done and show them the points under the Bills of Exchange Act that means that I can do that. And they wouldn't have a choice neither to say this man has paid you in full. So you need to like either one, stop chasing him for it, or I should be pushing because that says pay to the order of me. They're delaying a payment to my ends legis, aren't they? So I could be suing them for that as well.
Okay. So just for further clarity, so I was asking Richard before we started recording about the gyro credit. And lots of viewers and listeners will remember Jez, who was used to do some videos on YouTube, and it was
Yes.
very much about needing the gyro credit to be able to settle these alleged amounts. You're saying, Richard, that we don't need the gyro credit, and you've basically just endorsed the bill as per the bills of exchange.
Yeah.
And when you said you had to and fro, what did that look like? So you sent this, and then what happened when you sent this?
The whole thing, the whole process is on my YouTube. So if anyone wants to listen to it now and then want to go after, the whole of the process is on my YouTube channel. It's not very long at all. It's probably going to take about an hour and a half of your life, probably less, than probably about an hour of your life. The longest video is 16 minutes long. You don't have to make these things so goddamn complicated and have 15 million like Brandon does. Brandon does. He loves making things really overly complicated. But no, it's quite simple. It's quite simple, really. But yeah, there. That's the whole process that I went through. I can talk you through it. Do you want me to talk through it?
Yeah, just put simply, I'm assuming that they came back with some kind of rebuttal to this, did they?
Yeah, yeah. At first they wanted to talk. After a while, they were like, "We're not going to respond anymore." I was
Right.
like, "Well, it's a bit late for that." So yeah, this other woman obviously wasn't the CFO, was dragging herself into my world. And I think she got a bit scared, so she was like, "We're not going to talk to you anymore." Yeah, no, they sent back saying um, about me disagreeing with paying council tax and trying to not pay it. And I was saying, no, not at all. I'm not paying it. I'm just paying it the way that we should be paying it.
Yeah.
So you might want to check your shit. That's essentially what I did to him. So yeah, all the pictures of all that stuff's on my YouTube. I ain't going to hand at the minute, so I don't want to
Okay,
fertle
don't
through
worry.
things like I've already been doing. Um, but yeah, the and then I just sent one like normal letter. I didn't leave it, make it any sort of construct. I used the coat of arms in the top corner. I did all the structure of a correct letter to send off to them. I didn't make it an affidavit. That came a little bit after. So when they sent the other one back and they were trying to still argue stuff and try and use their laws and legislations, that's kind of like when I moved away and I sent them affidavit. So I asked them to prove. I think it was about 4 points. Didn't make it overly complicated because that's all that I needed answers to. Something about blocking me from speaking to the CFO because that's the only individual that can deal with these type of things. Um, Reasons for their non-dishonor of the negotiable instrument, returning of the negotiable instrument, and to send it all within a reasonable time. Um, and I think I put terms to something like by not concurring or by not answering all of the above questions under an affidavit in an affidavit format, notarized or witnessed by two individuals, I'll you'll concede to the fact that I've paid in full and that now and that the maturity of the bill may be coming up. I used that type of style, trapped them in the affidavit because obviously they don't send letters back. She said, "Oh, we don't send affidavits." I was like, "Lovely, that's great for me because if you don't send affidavits, that means I win."
What
Yeah.
affidavit was it? Was it an affidavit of fact or?
It was just my own style of doing affidavits. It wasn't like a notice of dishonor or any sort of stuff like that. I just kept it very simple, more like a common law, because that's where the man comes from, and that's the thing that deals in equity. The man, the entity doesn't deal in the equity; it deals in all the debt and all the other stuff. Um, but yeah, that's uh, that's pretty much the process that we went through. I ended up billing them in the end, ended up sending them a bill and saying that if they don't want to pay anything back, I'm going to be taking you to Chancery Court. I even gave them a bill of exchange cheat sheet because I billed them, so I gave them the bill of exchange cheat sheet telling them what they should do. I endorsed the document and send it me back, so I'd have my bill endorsed and sent back, and they'd have that bill endorsed then sent back. So we both be holding each other's bills. And then we can both go to the bank and go like that. And then we both get paid.
Right. So they haven't rebutted your affidavit,
No.
correct? And do you have proof that that amount, the £832, if that's what we're talking about, has been credited and come off your alleged account?
That other document that you've got,
Okay.
that puts the credit on the account. So this was the 25-26 council tax.
All right, just bear with.
And the credit is from the previous year.
Okay, so what are we looking at here? So we can see,
Where's the 25-26? Yeah, go down a bit. There we go. So this is the one for 2025-26. account to leave a balance of 1,070. Yeah, so the top line of that, I'd claim back all my council tax to the beginning of the financial year. So for the whole of the financial year of the previous year, I'd paid nothing. And
Sorry, you just dropped off there. What did you say?
nothing, and nothing I paid for all of the 24, 25. But I still had £139.69 pence credit in the account.
Got you.
So the only way that I've put a credit onto the account is through the bills of exchange. So if I've claimed back the whole financial year of 24, 25, so I paid nothing up until the beginning of the 25, 26, but there's £139.69 pence credit on there. So to me, that says the bill of exchange worked. It says that there's a credit on the account, and they haven't said anything since I endorsed this one and sent it back. It's been more than a month now. It's been more than a month. So yeah, that's it. It's paid. Paid. Next year's is paid. So sorted. They
Okay.
can mess about with all that stuff.
Right. So obviously, it'll be interesting to see what happens next if they try and come back at you with something new on this.
Oh, I very much doubt it. I very much doubt it.
Yeah. And so when you basically are saying that you can take this bill to the bank, have you done that with your 24, 25?
Done what? Sorry.
I thought you said earlier that you can take your bill and take it to the bank and cash in on it.
When the council endorse my bill and send it back, I can. That's how bills of exchange works.
Okay.
At the minute, that's how it works. So that they write me a bill, I pay them. Yeah, it reaches maturity, so I bill them, they pay me.
Okay.
We both get paid because
Okay.
we're both creating financial instruments.
Yeah.
We're both creating bills of exchange. So I created the bill of exchange and sent it them. Previously, they created the bill of exchange and sent it me. We're both manufacturing money, and we both need paying, and we both don't have to use any sweat equity to do that. I'll not smoke.
That's fine. Okay. So you sent them a cheat sheet. They've chosen to do nothing with that right now. You've endorsed your last council tax bill and haven't heard anything. Did you say earlier as well that you also did a direct debit claim on 24/25? So you had paid some of it and then you reclaimed it back.
Yeah, yeah.
And what did you say on that direct debit reclaim? Just that it was paid in error.
Yeah, paid in error, or I think the transactions have been fraudulent. Yeah, and then just claimed it back to the beginning of the financial year. Everyone's trying to claim back like, oh, I've been paying council tax for 27 years. Yeah, good luck. No, I did it in a way where um, I'm not taking piss. I found out this information. Um, I've been paying all the time that I've been alive, so I'm just going to take back to financial year, and that's what I did. And then I endorsed the bill, and then I got a credit for the next year.
Okay, cool. Well, that's a win. Um, especially Richard, as I was fraudulently made bankrupt last year for council tax.
Oh,
Yes, and I am still in the court to get it annulled as we speak. Um,
right.
yeah,
What
but
court are you in?
it's Birmingham County Court right now.
Oh, yeah. Now you want to try and get like equity court, chancery division, King's Bench, that type of stuff.
Well, at the moment, I basically on my appeal form, I said that the judge who granted the bankruptcy lied on the court order. So currently having to put
Have you
in,
got that? Yeah. Have you got proof of that?
well, this is what I'm doing at the moment. I'm doing a witness statement, etc., to put in, and it's then going to be put in front of said judge for his comments or rebuttal or whatever.
Are you going to do it like affidavit style?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Get
yeah,
it witnessed twice or notary or
yeah, yeah.
yeah. do that stuff.
Yeah.
It's a small court, so they'll probably say "fuck you," but it's you've got it in, and yeah, it needs to go up in my opinion because the smaller courts we know that there's a load of bullshit. The bigger courts they do actually do stuff like help people, like equity, how equity is supposed to be. That's why I think because when Paul Webster used to do the endorsing of the gyro slip, and then they'd go in and then they'd throw it out, they'd tear it up and throw it out because it's not something they deal with in their jurisdiction. That's exactly what he said about it, and that's what the Justice of the Peace said when he used to go in and do his cases. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
that just says to me that's the wrong jurisdiction, and you need to be in equity in Chancery and King's Bench and all that type of good stuff.
Well, yeah, and you're probably right. The we were in lol. We were in a room talking about it, and it was the judge that had been brought in again to deal with it, and because they kept getting adjourned and this, that, and the other. And it was him that picked up that I'd put that on my original appeal form. And he just stopped proceedings, and that was it. Now we've got to deal with the fact that I've called a judge a liar. But aside from all of that, there was no liability order, as we know. I received no statutory demand. So it was falling down on process.
So they didn't even send you any like invitations, summons to court, or anything like that.
Well, not that I saw, Richard. But I was never personally served the stat demand. I wasn't aware of it, and then all of a sudden, bankruptcy. There's a whole story behind all of that. But I wasn't even in the court when the judge issued bankruptcy, etc., etc.
Wow.
My guy was being beaten up by the security guards outside. Honestly, it was just crazy. So, but this is not about my story.
No, it's funny though, isn't it?
Um,
Party
so.
criminals.
Yeah, I know, yeah. So, if only I'd known how to endorse a council tax before. Um,
That's all they want. That's all they want. That's all they want in them courts. They just want payment. So if they bring any claims upon you and you somehow find yourself in one of them type of courts, be like, bring the claim forward, pay
yeah,
to the order of.
yeah, yeah,
There
yeah,
you go. As
yeah,
soon as you let go of that, that's it. It's paid for. I'm like, right, I'm taking my leave now. Everything's settled. See you later.
yeah. Absolutely. Um, so in terms of the water, then, just jumping over to the water. So presumably you did a very similar thing on the water. Oh, have you frozen?
Documents, so they're articles of association on Company's House.
Sorry,
So it's real.
you froze there, Richard. What were you
Oh,
saying?
yeah, no, I did pretty much the same with the water, yeah. But yeah, they're on Company's House. So go on Company's House and type in Yorkshire Water. Uh, you scroll down and go on to their company, and then click incorporation, and then you scroll back to the first ever incorporation document, and on there it says to draw, make, accept, discount, negotiate, bills of exchange, promissory notes, all these other terms for money that they have to accept. It says it on their own articles of association. Well, then, yeah, I just print off the one sheet with just that bit on it, and then send that. But I don't attach that with the bill and the allonge. I leave that separate, but keep it in the same envelope. And
Interesting,
yeah,
interesting.
so they can't disagree, can they? It's
Well,
black and white on their own fucking thing on Company's House.
well,
Ooh,
exactly. I mean, I've done that with my mortgage company, and
yeah,
I've also done it with the council because, as we know, the council are incorporated,
yeah,
and there are many, many council places registered on Duns and Bradstreet,
yeah.
and within those, there's obviously articles of association that say that they accept negotiable
Right.
instruments.
Yeah.
And so I've done
Bit
that.
trickier for councils, I've found.
Hey, trickier, yeah,
Yeah.
trickier. Yeah, because obviously they purport to be a public body, whatever. But I've tried to do it with my mortgage company as well, and they just ignore it all and basically say it's not
What have
relevant.
you sent them? What have you sent?
Well, but what you just said, that articles of
Yeah,
association.
yeah. Did you send anything else with it?
I've
Did you
done
ask for
a,
a redemption statement?
I've done a promissory note, but I did it to their receiving bank. This was what I was
Mm.
advised of at the time. So
Yeah.
I sent a promissory note for the redemption value to their receiving bank, which was Barclays, along with the notice of service and certification, etc., etc. Um, and that's never been acknowledged, refused, returned.
Did you do a SAR, a subject access request?
Yeah, and they sent me a load of old
Everything
stuff.
else but the bill.
Well, no, they didn't even acknowledge anything that I've sent to them recently. They sent me a load of stuff about Barclaycard.
Right, did you report it to the ICO?
Yeah, there's so much
You
going
reported
on,
it to the
Richard.
ICO?
Yeah,
No, yeah, you got to report them to the ICO because this is due process. This is what they're supposed to be following, i.e. GDPR and all this other shit, and that's what they're supposed to be following. So if they haven't responded within 30 days, send a thing to the ICO, and then you get a case number. You get a little case number. You could be like, well, you're failing in your duties, so I'm going to take it that I paid in full. If you want to disagree with that, this is where you trap them in the affidavit. Then you're going to have to prove these points, and you're going to have to get it witnessed, and you're going to have to answer each question individually. And if you don't, then we'll take it as I paid in full, and it's now all mine. And then you've got that in an affidavit. They don't respond to that, or if they try and respond to it and not in an affidavit format, you win. You win. That's it.
So these guys in America, like you said, they're all seem to be having a competition and being able to do it. It does seem to be a lot easier in America for whatever reason, even though everything's come from
Yeah,
our country.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because obviously the City of London is the finance part of the snake, right? So
yeah.
there's a lot of people covering their asses and there's a lot of corruption and we've been dumbed down like we wouldn't believe. Whereas in
Mm.
America it seems to be a bit more
Yeah, yeah.
easier to obtain, right?
What is it? The land of the free and the home of the brave. Well, it literally fucking is. If you're brave in America and you actually want to get your balls out and go and do some of this type of stuff, then yeah, it is the land of the fucking free because it's so easy over there. It's hard over here. It's hard over here. We have to do it twice as hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't understand. They don't understand. And I've got American people coming into my group that's trying to change it from American stuff into UK stuff. And they're asking questions about things in America. Like, what? What? No, you've got all the answers. Brandon's given you the whole answers. All you got to do is follow his stuff and copy it.
Yeah. So I also asked you whether you'd done the UCC stuff,
No.
because when I had Brandon on, I asked him, people are saying, can we do this in the UK? And he got a bit arsy, like, don't fucking ask me, do your own research kind of thing. But he still went through a few things. But he brought it back to the HMRC, and I was like, well, HMRC really is just a tax place. I think everything's managed by the IRS, but he was sort of pointing to the HMRC. Anyway, I know you haven't done it and you haven't needed to do it, is my point, to do what you're doing with these endorsements.
Yeah, yeah. So UCC3 is what the Bills of Exchange Act is. The UCC3 is the part of negotiable instruments and all the stuff to do with money. The UCC3 wouldn't exist if we didn't have the Bills of Exchange Act 1882. It's all financial systems are based on the Bills of Exchange Act 1882. It has to be. It has to be. Otherwise, nothing can operate or anything move in commerce. It has to be under the Bills of Exchange Act 1882, in my opinion. But yeah,
Okay.
no, anything that he talks about with UCC3, oh, very easy, very easy. Yeah, but then when he starts using all these USC and all these other little codes and stuff, UK doesn't really have like direct, like America has. They have like USC Section 12, Part 2B. You know what I mean? There's like so much of a drop down, and it's all very precise. And there's that many laws. It's all structured like building blocks, like American law is what I'd explain. UK law, it's a little bit scattered about. It's a little bit
Yeah.
scattered, but really the only thing that we need to truly know is the Bills of Exchange Act because that's money, isn't it? And money is connected to everything. So the most previous thing that was created, it'll always if it's still live today, it has to be. Otherwise, the world wouldn't work the way it does right now. So that it's been the same the whole time. So all these other laws and like Consumer Credit Act and all this other stuff that came after it, that to me is irrelevant. We've got a foundational document that's still active, and that's what the world runs on. So we use that.
Yeah, it's the maxim first in time, first in line, isn't it?
Aye.
Yeah, and yeah, amazing. So so the UCC Universal Commercial Codes, which when you start talking about this in courts, they say it's irrelevant. It's not irrelevant, is it?
If you can use UCC in UK courts, I'd be very surprised. The only way that you can get to use UCC in the UK courts is by getting it confirmed that you can, by them not rebutting you asking if you can use the UCC in the courts. So yeah, that's how you bring claim in UK courts to put anything towards a UCC. Now, yeah, case law as well. So um, and things from like Black's Law Dictionary and stuff like that. So they're American, aren't they? So they're American terms. So they're not always exactly going to be what it is over here for English terms. And the law dictionaries over here are a lot more expensive. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, they're like 800 quid for a law dictionary over here. But yeah, it does all interweave, and I'm doing something at the minute to do with person, the word person or the name person. Brandon's just brought out his little thing that he's been working on. It's got loads of amazing stuff, and it's all American based. So I'm trying to find stuff like over here because yeah, I think this is what has to be done in every jurisdiction, every country that says it's got a different jurisdiction to the one that's next door to it. I think they've got to find their own bits within their laws to be able to do this stuff. Um,
Yeah.
it's hard bringing laws from somewhere else to you and being able to use them
Yeah.
and apply them.
Yeah, I mean they don't adhere to good old English law in this country. Never mind stuff that we're quoting that's used in America. So
Yeah.
I agree with you. You've got to be very clever. So what are you? So you're basically just going to carry on doing what you're doing with the council tax and with your bills, so people can basically do the same. I remember Vobsy. You were on Vobsy, and I'm assuming it was after your podcast where he tried it himself and it worked, and then he tried it again and it didn't. Is that right?
No,
Okay.
just like to point that out. No. So after about 3 weeks after I'd been on, yeah, they came back on with the guy that was in my group and used the style of endorsement that we use in that group, which is Brandon's endorsement, which is the bank's endorsement. We use that, right? And then this guy in the group had done it for his mortgage. So his mortgage online account for his mortgage had disappeared after like 3 days, 4 days of them receiving the redemption statement that was endorsed. His mortgage account disappeared, completely disappeared.
Wow.
Yeah. So that we gave him that news, but then he like stitched it into like a Mike Holt thing and made it so that it was like Mike Holt had discovered this endorsement somehow. 3 weeks after I'd been on with that styling endorsement. And his previous endorsement was different. His previous endorsement was different. He didn't used to do the same style of endorsement. But yeah, he's changed it to one that's more similar to what the banks do. But then he's got people writing void ab initio on financial instruments. So I don't know what he's doing with that. Please don't anyone else come into the group and ask, what am I going to do now when it's something you've done through Mike Holt? I can't really advise. I'd say ask for another bill. Do it differently. You've put void ab initio on a financial instrument. Now, who on earth is going to accept any of that?
Hmm.
You put a financial document that's worth something, like a bond or what you like, even what they say is actual money, like bonds and stuff. Yeah, and then void ab initio with a big Z. Like what? yeah, no, it cancel the value of the instrument, surely. So yeah, no,
Okay.
I don't do that.
Okay, so this guy whose mortgage got settled, this is somebody you know personally,
I know him personally now, yeah.
and that's still settled. He's still got no mortgage.
Yeah, the account doesn't exist anymore. The account doesn't exist anymore. I'm telling him he's going to have to make some sort of public record declaration, put something in the local newspaper or something like that, so that you've got proof that you're claiming the land, also known as or otherwise known as care of address. This divination of the military postal code area. Also known as, but not actually, because you could just rename your house then, I suppose, couldn't you? You just
Hmm.
call it whatever you want, but also known as, yeah, the care of address. Yeah, you could do it like that, and then say, but that's it. Then he's got his claim, and it's been in the public. No one rebuts it. He gets the house. Yay!
Okay, and has anybody else been able to do what he's done and copied it? If he's been able to do it?
People have been on it. I've got a bloke who's supposed to be talking to me very soon about that, actually. We've got guys also trying to do the cars as well, trying to get the cars using order forms for vehicles to exchange these bills into bills of exchange, and then yeah, get paid for doing that as well if you really wanted to. Um, but yeah, the cars as well. What I'm wanting to do, I'm wanting to do more of a physical demonstration of how the bills of exchange should work. So I'm going to go into the car forecourt. I'm going to look for a physical car on the car forecourt. A big corporation, one that's got the to draw, make, accept stuff on company's house. I'm going to go into one of them, and then yeah, I'm going to say I want that car out there, that exact car. So then I know where the exact car is, and then I'm going to endorse the payment order and then send it back to them. Um, and then I can go down physically because then if they don't want to give me the keys to the car, they don't want to drop it off at my house saying that I paid in full, then I can go down physically in person and get someone with a tow truck to pull up and be like, taking this car, you need to either give me the keys or I'm going to be taking the car. That's how bills of exchange works, and that's how liens work. So they fucking me a tort because they're not releasing the keys to me. That creates a lien. I can then either serve lien or I can go and do it myself. And that's all protected under common law. Yeah, it's what Guy Taylor used to teach. You could go around and take other companies and other individuals' stuff if they're not paying you for things lawfully and not get arrested for it. But I'll have it back at my house. They'll want to come round. Coppers will probably want to come round and have a word, or even want to come to the car forecourt. I'll have a word with them there and then on the spot, and I'll just be like, this paperwork, my car." And they'll be like, "What? We don't know." Yeah, I know you don't know. I know you don't know. But until this is settled, I'm taking that car and I'm taking it with me. Because how else am I supposed to get recourse if this is wrong? They're just going to go like no, and then just going to make the car disappear. And I'll probably put a deposit on it because then that's like some sort of equitable interest. They might try and say, "Oh, well, you'll have to pay this way if you want to pay cash." I'm like, "No, well, I've already paid." And I don't know. I'm debating whether to do the deposit or not. I just want the order form for the car that's on the car forecourt, so I can physically get to it. Because the things that the guys are doing, they're doing it for a new car order form. They're using them forms instead. But obviously that's not something physical. You can go and touch it. That other one that's sat on car forecourt, I can go in and have a. You get to have a ride round, don't you? Test it out. I can go and have a ride in it. Um, but yeah, no, I need something physical. If I'm going to go down this process of trying to get a car, I need something physical in front of me that I can touch and feel, and I can
And what is
take.
it what form is it you're actually going to be completing and handing in?
So, there's something called an order form inside these car forecourts. So these order forms can be for new cars, and they can be for cars that are on the forecourts. So the ones that they've done are for new cars. So it says whatever vehicle it is, whatever make, model, all the extras and everything else like that. And then it has a sum certain in money. Um, not at a specific time. There's no specific time, which means if there's no specific time, it's an on-demand bill. So it needs to be paid at first sight. So you need to endorse it straight away, and you need to post it straight away. It's quick as humanly possible, and then it enters the postal mechanics. Um, but yeah, that's from one person to another, and it's signed as well because you can get them to sign it and date it.
So you're
So they got.
basically you're going into a garage and you're saying, all right, I want that car. You then what, fill in their paperwork and you endorse it as you know how to endorse it. But then how do you put that into the post? Do they not normally keep that kind of paperwork?
No, they don't have to. They don't have to. No, yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it, so I know that it exists. You can take that away with you. So the guy that I knew that did it, he said, "Oh, I'm paying for a trust. It's going for a trust, which it is." But yeah, it says the trust are going to tell me how to deal with it. So I've got to get a physical copy, and I've got to get that to them, so they can see it, and then they're telling me that how I need to do it, and then they're like, "Yeah, right, okay, yeah," and then yeah, you run away quick, endorse it, send it through the post.
And you send it
Um,
to back to the car dealership.
either the dealership, the CFO of that specific dealership, but really I'd go to the main one because the main CFO of Vauxhall or whatever,
Yeah.
they'll know what to do. They're probably on millions of pounds a year. They know what financial instruments are. And if they don't want to do it, then tough shit because it's without recourse. So yeah, you either owe me a lot of money or you owe me a car. Actually, you owe me both. They owe me both, and if they want to argue that in court, we'll go to Chancery Court, and I'll just rip in a new arsehole, and I'll get the value of the car. The car. This is the stages that we're getting to. So yeah, it's gonna be getting fun soon.
Oh, wow.
Like yeah,
Amazing. Um, so so obviously lots going on for you and your group. How can people find you and join your group, Richard?
yeah. So YouTube channel, the big guy, 8006, the big guy, TikTok. I don't know if it'll bring it up. Um, I've got one of them rapid response videos on where the sergeant's saying to bailiffs, "No, you need a physical copy and it needs to be signed and sealed." I put that on there. I got 20,000 views on it, so I pinned it. Uh, yeah, big guy on TikTok. The Telegram group. I don't know if you can search for it. I don't know if it's a private group. So, in the videos that I do on my YouTube, there's Telegram link in the comments or whatever to get
Okay.
onto the Telegram.
Yeah, well, if you fire over the links to me, I'll stick it on here as well, even though
Oh, cool.
I'm currently under my first strike at the moment. So they've
What for?
Steve Forsyth, bless his cottons. I edited in some old footage that he shared with me, and
Yeah.
they've pulled me up on the last one that was on the end of the thing, which was him talking about the stopping the vaccine rollout and stuff like that.
Uh,
And so, yeah, they rejected my appeal. So I'm having to wait. I'm emailing them separately to say this is a two-tier system. Um, I don't expect to get anywhere, but yeah. So
don't,
hopefully,
don't don't use the V word. Don't use the V word.
I know. But then you've got Dr. John Campbell who talks about it all the time.
Well, yeah, because there's a protected agent.
You think he's a protected agent?
Well, most of them are, aren't they?
Yeah, we were having this conversation
I-
the other night.
I've been looking at this stuff for years, and then all these people just start popping up because of COVID, and I'm like, not seen you before. What are you doing here? Yeah, all good fun.
Okay, yeah, I know. All right, cool. So, yeah, so if my links work, I will have your information in the description, if
That's
they
lovely.
reinstate my bloody links. But, um, okay, cool. So so you're doing some great stuff, and I know when I had Brandon on, and I also had a guy called Jacob Atwood, who's an American who's been following Brandon a long time. He was the first guy I had. Then Brandon came on,
Oh,
and now you. And everyone's going, how do we do it in the UK? How do we do it in the UK? So the fact that you are doing it in the UK is going to help a lot of
yay!
people. Yay! Yeah. You're a trailblazer, beer guy. You're a trailblazer.
Yeah, you got to get it done, haven't you?
Exactly. And you've given me more incentive as well to pull my finger out and get on this stuff. So what's next for you and any sort of if there is anything next? I know you're sort of said you're now at this taking the car stuff and endorsing all of that. Are you going after anything else?
Um, well, technically, you can do it with land, can't you? With some sort of version of like adverse possession type thing, where you putting fences up and saying I claim this land, and if anyone wants to disagree, it all goes back. This is exactly what they're trying to do to us right now. It's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to do a land grab, aren't they? They're trying to get
Yeah.
everyone's houses and properties and all these businesses just so they can go, yay, we've got it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is how they do it. They put things up and then they like move laws and shit up to this barrier, and then they pop through the barrier and they put another barrier up, and then they build laws up to a little barrier, and then it pops through again, and then they just keep thinking they can do whatever they want, whatever they please, as long as they can tell us about it. They're not going to get any karmic retribution from it. So
Yeah.
great for them, isn't it? Great for them. Yeah. No, it's getting shut down and it's slowly crumbling. So I think we can all try and help push things along just a little bit. Um, Refuse a digital ID and all this other stuff that's been purported, and stop them chemtrails in the sky because you're allowed to say that now because it's actually been in the news. We're going to dim the sun whilst installing solar panels everywhere. Hooray!
I know. I actually had somebody, I put that on my LinkedIn the other day, and I actually had somebody, I know him as well, who was justifying the logic between geoengineering and solar panels and still believing the bullshit. And I'm just like, what? What? It's just absolutely crazy. Um, okay, cool. I was going to say something that's got flown straight out of my head when you were saying something else. But what any final parting words from you, Richard, before we finish up?
Well, if you're going to try this type of stuff, get your balls out and give it a good go. Because if you don't, then you might be a bit scared and you might just start doing other things. Um, yeah, keep reading, keep learning, keep absorbing. Do Brandon's course if you want to do Brandon's course. You don't have to do Brandon's course. Um, and then yeah, it's all done in fun. We know that we're right on what we're saying, so everyone, government, and everything like that can push over, and we can have our little, if you've heard of it, Nasara Jasara thing. We do his own one. Fuck it.
Yeah,
No, not bothered about them giving us one. We'll just do his own. We'll just do his own. Yeah, probably a better idea.
yeah, yeah. No one's coming to save us. Um,
Exactly.
I know what I was going to say. I actually did an adverse possession course about 10 years ago and started to drive around to see old properties that looked at, and then I just it's too difficult and I just stopped. It's like because then you've got to wait 12 years, haven't you? That's what the legal shit is. So you put your post on, you put your notice on, you've got to take your picture, get it dated and newspaper or whatever. So you're proving when you took possession, and this is how it was back then anyway.
If if you find a piece of land and you can grow crops on it, and you can keep pigs on it, and you can keep chickens on it, and you can keep cows on it, and you can keep any livestock on it, you've got a little bit of land that you can do that with. You can do it pretty much instantly. Because what is it if you're not maintaining the land? You've got a farm that's there with livestock on. Oh, my family lives in here as well. Like, oh, all right, okay. Well, we're going to go through all the law courts. Yeah, but I need to exist, so you've got to try and find a different resolution. I'm like, oh, just sign up at the council. Oh, I'm not a person, I'm afraid. I'm not a person, I'm afraid. I don't need your I don't need your what do they call it? Benefits. I don't need your benefits. I've got my own benefits. Yeah,
Interesting. Okay, cool.
yeah. Oh, one last thing. I
Yeah.
tried to apply for a revolving credit bank account under the title of Canon. How does that sound? That sounds pretty cool, doesn't it?
Mm.
So I put the man's name as the person that was applying for this account. I used hyphens as well. It let me use hyphens and it let me use colons as well. So all that they had was the man's name. That was the account that I was applying for. And I put the title, not as a Mr., Mrs., anything like that. There was a title of canon. So to me, that says that I'm now under ecclesiastical law, which means they can't ignore canons, which means that they can't deny, and the judge can't deny, a CQV trust being in existence. So I'm going to try and do some sort of check thing where I'm going to send a check from one of an old account that's registered to the fictitious corporate entity and get the check to go from them to the man's account that's got the revolving credit. And then I'm going to make sure that there's nothing in the previous bank. And then when they try and draw on it and it bounces back, then I'll be able to speak to them as the man and be like, where's my money? And they'll be like, that check bounced. And I'll be like, no, it didn't. You gave me a revolving credit bank account. That is the initial piece of the credit. And now you're going to give me a £2,000 overdraft, and I'm going to cancel it out every month. I don't know. I'm trying to do something like that. That'd be ideal. I'm not quite sure I'm going to work it way around to that. But yeah, no, I can show you the screenshots as well. I've got the screenshots. The title is Canon. So not Mr., it's a canon, which is ecclesiastical. Yeah, puts you into people talk about ecclesiastical deed polls and stuff that they've done, puts you into ecclesiastical law, which means you're under canons. So yeah, I'm under canons, and I've got hopefully a revolving credit bank card now.
Okay. I know some other people that are doing something with checks right now, but I don't know the full ins and outs. So, Richard, keep me posted on that because that's another podcast, for sure.
Yes,
Uh,
please.
yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on this last hour or so. Thank you. I know you're busy in space. It's been so good of you.
What about I can't breathe?
You can smoke in space, so that's cool. Yeah, and I know that the viewers and listeners are going to love it. It's been very informative for me as well. And yeah, thank you very much. Can't wait to have you on when you've had your next win.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you.